Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, and I am here with...
Burrito Man 93, also known as Ernesto Ibarra outside of Yu-Gi-Oh events.
And you had a fantastic showing at the LA Regional this past weekend, is that correct?
Yes, I did. I got 13th place at the LA Regionals with pure Sky Strikers.
Always good to hear pure Sky Strikers showing up. I believe this is your list up on the screen right now, and you have it in front of you as well. You want to run through the card choices real quick and give us an idea of what you were playing?
Yes, definitely. So it's a 40 card list. We have 9 monsters. We have 3 Ray, 3 Ash, and 3 Ghost Bell. 3 Ray, it's important to play 3. Don't play less than 3 because you need it for a pure engine. 3 Ash. Ash is the best hand trap that hits everything in the format. And against rogue decks. And then 3 Ghost Bell. Ghost Bell is probably the second best hand trap in this format, other than to Ash, because Ghost Bell is good against a Thunder Dragon matchup, and it hits everything else. Like it hits Sky Strikers, it hits the True Draco spells and traps, I believe, and it hits some other. It has decent interaction in other matchups.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
yeah.
never really dead.
Mm-hmm. For the most part, it's never really dead. Okay, so those are my 9 monsters, and then I have right here 28 spells.
Jesus.
It's a Sky Striker deck, so you play a lot of
Stick to the
spells.
game plan. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So let me go start off by with Reinforcement of the Army. That's a card so I can get to Ray, because getting into Ray is really important. Mm-hmm. Then we have the Sky Striker spells. We have 3 Engage. Nothing more needs to be said about that.
I hear it's a good card.
Oh, and not just a good card. It lets you add a Sky Striker spell from your deck, and if you have 3 or more, you get to +1. You get to draw a card. So yeah,
fantastic
pretty
design, fun.
Oh, and also it's not once per turn, so you could use this up to 4 times per turn, technically.
Yikes.
Yep. And then we have 3 Widow Anchors. We have, or what I like to call it, 3 Change of Hearts Turbo.
Good.
We have 3 Multi-Roll. Some people play this at 2, and I was one of those that played it at 2, but I realized that Multi-Roll is such a good card, especially during the mirror, and if you don't want to get your engages ashed, because it makes it so that your opponents cannot respond to any of your spells once you activate its on-field effect. And that in Area 0 is really good and gets your engine going. So speaking about Area 0, we have 3 Area 0. Some people play this at 2 because they don't want to see this in multiples, but I recommend you guys playing it at 3, because Area 0 is a starter card, and it can get your Engage, it can get your Ray, it can get your Widow Anchor, it can even get Multi-Roll. So yeah, play it at 3, please. And along with those 3 area rolls, you get 2 Terraforming, because you want to see the maximum consistency, and you want to see Area 0 as well, as fast as you can. Then you have 2 Eagle Booster. I know some people play this at 1, and some people, especially in Europe, play this at 3 because they see more Sky Strikers. I'm playing it at 2. I love it at 2. I don't like it at 1 because you want to see it more, especially during the mirror match, because it's it protects your monsters from like Widow Anchor, and you want to see it, and it protects like I said, it protects your monsters, and it's unaffected by your opponent's card effects. And if it's plus 3 spells in the grave, it can't be destroyed by battle, which helped me in like one of the matchups. And then we have, to our 1-ubs, we have Sky Striker Mecha Shark Cannon, really good against graveyard-related decks, especially BA Danger. Get out the Seer Dante loop. and hits Fairy Tale Snow too if they're like running low on resources.
Mhm.
Then we have the Hornet Drones, another starter card. Then we have a controversial card, which is Hercules Base. This is like probably one of the cards you can count out the main deck, especially if you're running 3 Hayates in the extra deck. But in the mirror match is really important since you're going to be grinding it out against your opponent. So it's a 50-50 choice if you want to keep it in or not. It's up to player's preference, I would say. Then we have Afterburner as the last Sky Striker spell card. You need it. You just need it. Yeah.
It's removal.
It's removal. And it can out back row as well if you have 3 or plus spells in your graveyard. Mm-hmm. So moving on to the non-Sky Striker cards, we have 2 Foolish Burial Goods and the Metal Fist Fusion. This is your draw engine, and I prefer this over Pot of Desires because Pot of Desires is going to banish your resources, and you want to see your spells. You want to have 3+ in your spells like all the time, and this is one of your ways that you're going to get that. It's the easiest way to get that, so you could activate your engages, your +1s, broken stuff here. Then you have Upstart Goblin and your 3 Twin Twisters. Twin Twisters are against back row heavy decks like Altergeist, Trickstars, True Draco, etc., and even rogue decks too. And sometimes if you don't have a play starter and you have Area 0 on Twin Twisters, sometimes or even rarely you activate Twin Twisters, you go minus and pop your Area 0 to get your out of the deck.
I have lost a lot of games to the Sky Striker player destroying their own Area 0 with Twin Twisters. It is, oof. Yeah. It feels bad.
You have to do it one way or another, but yeah, it's still good, And then you have 3 Infinite Impermanences as my only traps. You have 2 main Infinite Impermanents this format because you have the Thunder Dragon matchup, which is your hardest matchup by far because you can't search. Like I've had some game once against Thunder Dragons. I get some hands where Engage, Area 0, Terraforming. Oh, I can't do anything against that matchup since they have Colossalus, which doesn't let you search. So I just scoop and go to game 2 because of that. And Infinite Impermanence is a way to out that or to let you play.
It's not completely unreasonable that you don't out it. I mean, you've got the 3 Widow Anchor and the 3 Impermanence, but certainly you probably need them all.
Yeah. My main deck is to play against everything without going into one too much against one matchup. Mm-hmm. That was my game plan for the main deck. And I know some people are playing Solemn Strikes in their main still, but yeah, it's not that time anymore. That was previous format.
The time has come and gone.
Yeah. Okay, so now do you want me to go to the extra deck or the side deck?
Let's do the side deck first.
Okay. We have 3 Metaion, 3 Drolls, 3 Mind Control, 1 Spicy Super Poly, 3 Evenly Matched, and 2 Heavy Storm Duster. Let's go to them by each card by itself. So we have Metaion, 3 Metaions. That's specifically against Thunder Dragons and any Link board that doesn't have a Trigate Wizard. Because Metaion sends back all the Thunder Dragon fusions, and that's how you're able to play Sky Strikers by outing the Colossus and all that. So Metaion is a really good card, especially against that matchup. And then if they don't have a Trigate Wizard, this is good to out your opponent's Link or a U board. But sometimes you could, like my other side deck card, Mind Control, you could try to bait the Trigate Wizard, they'll negate it, and then you go Metaion and then just send them to oblivion.
I mean, Sky Striker is just a bunch of cards that Trigate really wants to negate.
Exactly. Alrighty, so we have 3 Draw Unlock. This, as you guys can assume, is specifically against the FTK.
You got to do something.
Yeah. It was either this or the Reapers, and I chose for this event the Drolls.
Mhm.
I'll I'll just say that most of my side deck was pretty much situational. And it didn't really make too much of an impact, but it was good to see the Drolls.
Mhm.
Although Winter Cherries, if I had to do this again, I would probably side Winter Cherries instead. But I'll explain to that more to you guys right now. Okay, and after Drolls, it's Mind Control, 3 Mind Control. That's against the Link board and against Thunder Dragons, and even against the Mirror.
Mhm.
I mean, it's good against a lot of matchups, but
Mhm.
it's another way to out Colossus. And then moving on, we have Super Polymerization.
Mm.
That was my spicy tech. Well, spicy tech thanks to the YCS London winner.
Mhm.
I think his name was Mirko. Shout outs to you, Mirko, and to E-Man Games. You guys really helped me out, and thank you guys.
The list does look strikingly similar.
I think it might be card by card, but before looking at his list, I had a similar list, but I just wanted to take a look at his list, and I saw his more refined, and yeah, I chose to go with his list, and it paid.
It worked.
It worked. It paid me dividends. All right, so yeah, Super Poly. That's in my side. I have 2 targets for that, and I'll get to that when I get to my extra deck. We have 3 evenly matched. Pretty much one of the best cards in the in the side deck in the format, because you out a lot of U-Link boards. You out, in theory, against Thunder Dragons. If they have 3 Thunder Dragon fusions, they'll go to 1, so they'll have to choose between Colossus or Titan. And back row heavy decks, if they don't have the Solemn Judgment or like Wiretap or even Dark Bribe, this card just completely annihilates their field. Yeah, and then we have our last 2 side cards, Heavy Storm Duster. It goes against the back row heavy decks, and even Sky Strikers too. Unfortunately, I never saw this card, so I can't really comment about it.
But theoretically, it's very good.
Yes, theoretically. I would still keep it in the side deck. Maybe even bump it up to 3 to see it like even more, but that was there nor then. Now we go to the extra deck.
Right.
We're going to go from links to my fusion monsters. So my link ones, we have Clara and Rukshka. We have 3 Shizuku. We have 3 Kagari. And then we have 3 Hayate. Clara and Rukshka, that's specifically against Altergeist. Because Clara and Rukshka is a spellcaster. And I can activate my spells with Secret Village, so that's why it's in there. I know some people don't play it, but I would recommend you guys playing it, just in case you guys face the Altergeist matchup. We have 3 Shizuku, 3 Kagari, and 3 Hayate, which is standard. Please play them all at 3. Don't play 2 Hayate. Play 3 Hayate, because my favorite expression back in Zodiac format was Borbo for game. Pretty much the same thing with Hayate. You can attack in time. You can kill them for game, and it's effective send off. If you don't have Ray in your graveyard, you can send Ray with this. You can send any Sky Striker spell that you need. Like you can dump Engage and then summon Kagari in main phase 2. Grab back the Engage and then activate it. Pretty broken stuff here. Now on to our link to or the Nightmare package, which was Phoenix and Unicorn. So yeah, 2 Nightmare cards. Phoenix, good against back row decks, but I only summoned it like once or twice, and I didn't even use its effect. So
good against stuff you stole with Widow Anchor most of the time.
That too, and I'll get back to that with my tournament report. And then Nightmare Unicorn, it's really good. I never used this effect. I might have summoned it once, but I think that was when I was in a losing position, though, if I remembered. But yeah, it's still really good. play it. Then you have the best Link 4, or other than Firewall Dragon, because yeah,
This card's
we
good,
have
but it doesn't FTK.
it doesn't FTK. We have Boil Sword Dragon. Never made it in the tournament, but it's really good to OTK. Like I've done it in practice, or not in regional, but in practice. This it's hard to make though, since you only have like one what's it called? Hornet drones, and you need to use your Shark Cannon on a Link 2 monster in order to go to Boil Sword most of the times. Sometimes you can just spam out your links, and you can go Hayate and then make Boil Sword. Do some shenanigans, and you can make him. And then onto our fusions, our Super Poly targets. So let's just say your opponent has 2 Thunder Dragon Colossus, and you need to out it, and then you draw into Super Poly. What do you do with the Super Poly? You activate it, send their monsters, and summon Predaplant Dragos to Palia.
This is the jankiest card. I love it.
It also has an on-field effect, but it's usually not used. You don't usually use it.
It's a quick effect negate. Oh my god.
Exactly, but I didn't see these two. I didn't see Super Poly, so I never saw my fusion cards. So
And the other one.
luck. And the other one, it is a Thunder Dragon fusion monster, but it's Titan. So if you see 3 Thunder Dragon fusions in your opponent's field, you use Super Poly, summon your Titan. Sorry for the noise, and yeah, your opponent says GG. They don't pretty much they can't get rid of this easily, because they have to activate Thunder Dragon monsters from their hand, and I get to use their effect because my Titan is not just my cards that I control. It could be opponent's Thunder monsters from the hand as well, if I recall correctly. Mm-hmm. But yeah. These two are my cute fusion targets.
They are adorable.
But yeah, that was my whole deck list. Do you have any questions about my deck list, Manu?
Yeah, I guess the one thing I am wondering about is if you missed jamming waves at all.
Jamming waves, usually it's a good card, but in this format and the previous ones, no, I didn't miss it at all. Mm-hmm. Usually your opponent has chainable spells and traps, and it makes jamming waves useless, because usually if I were to activate jamming waves, I would like to have 3+ spells in my graveyard, so I could destroy the monster. It's the secondary effect is to destroy the monster, but it's what's it called? It doesn't target.
Right.
So against Cosmo. My only matchup that I could have used it against was against Cosmo True Dracos, and to out the Cosmo ships, but
probably not worth playing for that reason.
Definitely not worth playing it.
All right,
especially if you plan to top.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
So how did the tournament go?
Oh, I went X2, and I got 13th place, so I got my invite.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you. It was really good, and I had loads of fun in there. You want me to go through my tournament report?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's do this. So the matchups I faced 2 Thunder Dragons, 2 Link spam decks. One of them was a Dark Hero Warrior Link, and the other one was Goki Hero. Then we also faced what's it called? Where are you? Oh yeah. The Mare, I faced Sky Strikers, faced 2 Danger BAs, and I also faced the Black Cat of the format, Dark World Danger FTK.
Oh boy.
Those were, I enjoyed it. Not the deck itself, but I enjoyed facing all my matchups, and shout out to my opponents that I faced in the LA Regionals. All right, so let's get through this. Round 1. I was going in there, I was thinking, I've made my deck to play against Thunder Dragons. I probably won't see Thunder Dragons round one, but if I do, I'm ready. And I go into like my table, and I figure out I'm playing against Thunder Dragon round one. So must
Off
be
the bat.
fun
Bad
off the
omen.
bat. Bad omen indeed. And I've played in other regionals, and I've had bad omens, but in other regionals round ones. But yeah, plays against Thunder Dragon. So there's 1, 2, 3 games. Game one, I lost because I couldn't out Thunder Dragon Colossus. He
Happens.
went first. Yeah, he went first and made it. I look at my hand, look on the field, look back to my hand, look on the field. I notice I have like Engage, Area Zero, Terraforming, and no outs to it. So I decided to scoop after his second turn when he summoned Denko. And yeah, game two, I pretty much just outgrinded him.
Mhm.
I made my normal Sky Striker plays. And the funniest part was he bricked with 3 Thunder Dragons.
Oh my god. The
So yeah, my
wow.
opponent told me he had a 1.6% chance of that happening, like
That's
drawing
so
all
funny.
your 3 cards. Yeah, and so yeah, I won that one easily. Game three, similar to game one, he made Colossus, but I had outs to it this time. I think I had like 2 Metaions and a Mind Control or something like that. So I just pretty much took control of it, did my normal Sky Striker plays, outgrinded him, and won that match.
All right.
But yeah, I noticed I might just lose my game ones, but if I sided correctly, I'll probably win my games 2s and 3s. So that's what I learned from that matchup.
Mhm.
Round two, I played against probably the least meta deck that I faced, Cosmo True Draco.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I don't know why people still play that deck. It's a cute idea where they
Like you
make
can't
ship.
target it or something. That's like the idea, I guess. It
Exactly.
sounds good on paper, but
It's not consistent enough. So yeah. Okay, so my round two matchup against that game one, it was really weird. He was making plays. He had like the good board with combination of True Draco and Cosmo cards,
mhm.
and I mean, yeah, he just outplayed me. Like I had to waste my hand traps and all that, my resources to like. I was just outgrinded. Like I didn't have enough resources to out his Cosmo stuff. He had like Cosmo Town and 2 other Cosmo monsters, and he was just gonna loot me. And I only had a Phoenix, but by that time it was just too late.
Mhm.
So I lost game one. Game two. Oh yeah. Well, games 2 and 3, I pretty much won easily. But game two, he kind of bricked like in mid game. I was able. It was similar, but I outed his board and what's it called? Yeah, like in the middle of it, he did have Cosmo Town, but he had like a Maiden and a Cosmo ship. He was shuffling to try to draw into the out, but he didn't, and I just outgrinded him.
That deck does not
He's-
rebuild.
Yeah, exactly, and it's hard for them to come back from that. And then game three, I don't remember too much, but I just remember outgrinding him, easy peasy. So we go to 2-0. Going into round three, this deck I faced, yeah, my first Danger BA deck. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be harder than it was because I saw like Thomas Rose's explanation of his BA deck, and he was like, "Oh, we can beat strikers easily. It's like one of our easiest matchups." So I was kind of scared, but I learned that it wasn't true at all. Like I feel like it's the opposite, where we have a free win against them. But onto my explanation. Game one, I went first and kind of bricked. And I mean, this happened in both games. He made Dante and BLS and attacked me for 2,500 life points. But just like in the anime, I top deck into this card. I draw to Ray. I do my normal Sky Striker plays, and I just outgrind him. Like
So-
that was like any way to get to Ray or to engage or into anything. That's how I won that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it happened both games too, in games 1 and 2. But yeah, game 2, I think he did make Beatrice. I'm not sure if he did make Beatrice in game 1 as well, but I still outgrinded him. I had like the Widow Anchors.
Right.
It was easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're 3-0 going into round 4. I hate linked decks with a passion like U-boards, but
Fair.
yeah. So round 4, I go against Dark Hero Warrior Link,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So I go first game 1. But yeah, it was easy because I started first. I made my normal Sky Striker plays. I outgrinded and controlled and interrupted his plays,
Right.
and he couldn't really counter me. So
Mm-hmm.
I won that game because Widow Anchor is too strong,
That's
and
a good card.
and Shark Cannon as well is really good against malicious.
Malicious specifically. People say that Armageddonite is an FTK, but actually Widow Anchor is an FTK.
If you play it correctly, it's an FTK. Game 2. Oh my god, game 2 was so amazing, but not for me, of course, for my opponent. He had the full-blown combo. He made Gumblar. He was going to make Dark Law, but I scooped before he did that. So he was going to get rid of 4 cards from me, but he was going to banish them instead of putting it in the graveyard. So that wasn't going to help me at all. So I was like, nope, we're scooping. Let's go to game 3. So we go to game 3. I go first, and luckily the new time rules helped me out. But yeah, I mean, the new time rules, I still hate them, but it helped me out in this situation. So, yeah, I think I went first, not suboptimally. I just enough to control the board, and then I just dealt enough damage to win in time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then we're going to round 5. I'm XO0. I'm super excited, like nervous, but super excited. I'm like, oh, I think I can go undefeated. Like, I have that thought in my mind, but I don't want to jinx myself. So,
Right.
Round 5, we go into our second Thunder Dragon matchup. But this one doesn't. It wasn't just what's it called? Thunder Dragon. It was Thunder Dragon Dinosaurs. But I didn't figure that out till game 2.
They just didn't draw any of the like Overraptors or anything.
He didn't really need to. He just like game 1, he made Colossus. Just like in my last Thunder Dragon matchup, I just had nothing to out it. So, GG, go to game 2. So, game 2 was really interesting. I think this was like one of my games where I had to like out a good board, and I was able to. I sided my 10 cards, my 3 Evenly, my 3 Mind Control, my Super Poly, and my 3, Metion.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of my friends, he was telling me, like, in the middle of the rounds, after I faced my Thunder Dragon matchup, you should go second against them because you want to see the extra card, like, to out the Thunder Dragon board. Mm-hmm. I took his advice this matchup, and it paid off dividends. Like,
Nice.
What's it called? So he went first. He makes this, like, good board. I was able to interrupt him with, Ghost Bell, because I Ghost Belled his Avian. Mm-hmm. But he still made a board of Lanphalinkus, Logia, and Obertex. So, ways to counter my spells. Somehow, I can't exactly remember, but I grinded him. I think I baited out his Logia because I needed to do something in that order for him to activate Logia first. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and I outgrinded him and won the game.
Nice.
So yeah, I was proud of outing that board. Game 3, he made me go first. I make a decent Sky Striker board, but I still had like my second cards because I knew it was going to be a grind fest. And in this matchup specifically, to all of you Sky Striker players, hold your Widow Anchors. You don't want to set them. You do not want to lose to Denko Seka.
Is that what happened?
No, it didn't happen to me because I knew that ahead of time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just so you guys don't because they can search Denko Seka with Thunder Dragon Fusion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So you don't want if you have multiples of them, you can set one. It's not a problem. But if you have one in your hand, hold on to it because you need to out the Colossus one way or another. Mm-hmm. So yeah, He made me go first. He tried to out my like. I told him to play a bit faster because we were running low on time,
Hmm.
and I think that got to him. I apologize if I did, if you're that Thunder Dragon player that I faced, but yeah, I outed his. I mean, not well. I outgrinded him, but he tried to out my back row. I had like 2 or 3 sets. He made Phoenix attack me like for 2,200 damage somehow, and then I noticed that we were like 1 or 2 minutes left in the round. So I made my plays faster, and I made my normal Sky Striker plays, and I had Widow Anchor and took his Phoenix, made Kagari and attacked him for game or for in time for game. So yeah,
Happens.
it happens. No shame in losing to time like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, so going into my next round, I'm 5-0. I am super stoked. I am pumped. Like, geez, I feel like I could go undefeated if I didn't face any BS. Oh, the BS was gonna happen in round 6, or karma's gonna bite me in my
Yeah,
ass.
yeah.
Game 1. He had this was I almost outed his U-Link board. He made the Gombo combo. Fortunately, he didn't hit all my important pieces. He left me with like an area 0 and a multi-roll.
Okay.
So my next turn comes along and what's it called? Oh yeah, I almost came back. I would have come back if I like summoned Ray and I baited out his like Link Karibo. I had to afterburner his one of his Link Karibos that he made in the extra deck. Because he had 2 Link Karibos and Nightmare Mermaid along with Gumblar and Firewall and Cerberus and Phoenix. You know, the full Link board. But I did that. I summoned Ray. I attacked his other Link Karibo, but my mistake was I activated Ray's effect and he had the set Called by the Grave.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
yeah, I should have read that. But I didn't, so I scoop it up. We go to game 2. I went first. I made a board that controlled and interrupted him, but this guy, the Goki Hero guy, he went undefeated and he got first place in the regional. So
Wow.
props to you, Amar. I think that's your name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but yeah, shout outs to you. You are a god. For getting first place. But yeah, I made an interrupting board. He tries to play with around my board as fast as possible, but he realizes I was just going to outgrind him. I had more resources in my hand. He did have like Gunblar and Firewall, but it was just not enough. I was just going to outgrind him. So he scoops. We go to game 3, but I know we had like 5 minutes left in the round, and it took 2 minutes to side. So there was a good chance I was going to lose, especially if he drew this one card, which he did in game 3. He had Neospatian Aqua.
No! Oh, losing to Aqua Dolphin. Oh,
It's
what a bad beat.
It's the worst, but I give mad props to him. I think he did that game 1, but it didn't really matter since he had the U-board link.
Right.
But in game 3, it mattered since we were going into time and he burned me for game.
Oh.
If we had more time, though, I had Mind Control and a Metion. You know what that means, right, Mono?
Burned him with Metion's effect?
I was gonna burn I was gonna burn for game while he was gonna burn me back if we had time. So if we went to next turn, yeah. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and I lost in time.
Time giveth and time taketh away.
Mm-hmm. But either way, it was a good match. I respect the hell out of that guy. Props to him. Round 7, I was 6-1. I was still like, I can still like get my invite. I can maybe even top 8, get those good prizes. Unfortunately, I faced the black sheep of the format, Danger Dark World FTK.
The FTK.
This was the round. This was the round that will show if I got the invite or not. I didn't know that ahead of time, but I think this was the round. So game 1, he just FTK'd me. I was like, I didn't have an optimal board to interrupt.
Right.
And I went first. And then he was just doing the combo. As I noticed in the middle of the combo, I'm like, are you playing Danger Dark World FTK and are you gonna FTK me? He's like, yes. I'm not having any part of that. Let's go to game 2. So we did. Game 2, I went first again. I just stunned him into oblivion. Although this game was important, it made me a better Yu-Gi-Oh player because in that game, I got rule sharked by my opponent. The situation was I had 3 spells in my graveyard, and I was activating Engage, and I was searching, and then I told my opponent I'm gonna draw an extra card from the Engage, but the thing was I sent my Engage to the graveyard, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to leave it on the field on the spell and shut zone. My opponent is rule sharking me, and then I call Judge just to confirm I got my side of the story, he got his side of the story, and in the end the judge agreed 50-50. He agreed with him that I'm supposed to do that, but he gave me a pass this time and gave me a minor penalty for that.
Yeah, well,
so yeah,
that's about the best you can hope for.
Yeah, pretty much. But I learned from there on, especially in this match, because I did that again. I was like, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to focus on every card he plays and every card I play. I was just focused from there on out, which helped me a lot. I think that was a turning point that made me realize I could do this if I focused. So we go to game 3. We're 1-1 right now. My opponent goes first. He activates Danger Dogman. Fortunately, I hit it and he bricks. After that, I just outgrind him and out-resource him, and I just win it.
Okay, that's great.
But yeah. So that's how my FTK story, I could tell my grandchildren, went.
Pull up a chair, let me tell you of the time that I played against Dark World FTK.
It was a cruel and horrible story that it should never be revealed to anyone else.
It was a terrible format.
Very terrible. But yeah, so X1 right now. We're going into round 8. I feel really comfortable, but in the tournament or before the tournament, I was prepared to lose against America because I was focusing on Thunder Dragons, especially in the side. So if I lost to Sky Strikers, I was like, it happens. I didn't practice too much against Sky Strikers, and I knew my deck wasn't optimal to play against Sky Strikers. So we're going to round 8. I play against the former world competitor, top 4 nationals, 2017. His name was Kenny Nguyen. This guy's a real pro. He knows his stuff. Props to him. I think he made a deck. I saw his deck list recently this week, or not him, but he was in a deck list with another guy named Brian Ryle. So shout out to him and to Kenny. So yeah, we go to the match. I lost both games as expected. First game I bricked hard and got Ash Blossomed on Shizuku effect to grab Engage. So it happens. I bricked hard. Game 2, it lasted a bit longer, but I just noticed he had more knowledge of the matchup than me, and I was just being outgrinded. And there was that point where I was like, you can have it. I know I'm losing resources, so take the match. I'm really happy right now with I'm X2. I'll probably still get an invite. So yeah. So yeah, I'm X2. We're going into our last round. We're playing against Danger BA. And I was like, it might be a free win for me because I faced it before and it was pretty easy. So game 1, I'm not sure who went first. I think I went first, but it was nothing special. I outgrinded him and he made Beatrice, but I broke it with Widow Anchor and I shark counted either his Dante or his Seer to out the Dante loop, or Dante Seer loop. So nothing notable there. And then game 2, this was interesting because we drew the game. I high-octane him for 1,500 damage, and then his next turn, he finds a way to deal 1,500 damage back to me, but he had to summon, Hydralander, Dark Arm Dragon, Dante, Beatrice. whatever you name it. But
Sure, yeah.
just bring out all the beat sticks, and he did 6,500 damage to me. But yeah, we drew. I won the match because
Right, 'cause
I
you
just
won game
I just
one.
won game one. So
Yeah, happens.
yeah, so that was my tournament report. Do you have any questions about it, Mano?
No, sounds like you you kind of sacked out playing a couple of BA players, but oh god,
Mhm.
U-Links. Would you say that the decks that try to U-Link you are probably your worst matchup still?
Yeah, that and Thunder Dragons. I prepared
Right.
for it,
Of course, Thunder
but
Dragons aside.
yeah, if I had to make a list, it's Thunder Dragons, Lynx, then Sky Strikers slash Alter Guys. I didn't face Alter Guys, so I can't really tell you. I do play Alter Guys in my spare time. I like it. It's a fun deck, but
Mhm.
I chose Sky Strikers because what do you know? It's competitive. It's
It's
more
better.
competitive than Alter Guys, and it's more consistent.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, do you have any shout outs?
I have a few shout outs. Shout outs to E-Man Games for providing me with that YCS first place deck list. Shout outs to all my opponents, especially Kenny and Aram. They taught me a lot throughout the match, and hopefully one of these days I give. I hope I can make you guys proud. And then shout outs to my closer friends, to Tom, to Steve, to Steven. So yeah, the two Steves. And then to or we're part of to Josh as well. He was another player that played Sky Striker, a friend of mine. He got 16th place in the event with a similar deck list to mine, but he played it a little bit different. I think
Wow.
main share ride. So yeah, there was a lot of Sky Strikers in the top tables, along with there was a Trickstar player. It was very spicy, but I'm not gonna reveal that deck list anytime soon. It's up to him if he wants to reveal it.
Right.
So yeah, a lot of Lynx, spam decks, Thunder Dragons. So yeah, pretty much what I faced. Even Danger BAs were in the top, what's it called, top tables, and Alter Guys as well. But yeah, almost every match that I played against, every deck was pretty much meta. So I think I did. I'm proud of my result, and I did really well to I think I was prepared enough for the LA regionals. I think my results show that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, I like to say shout outs to them, and then with my close friends, shout outs to Pixie Squad. Because that's the best squad that there is in the game right now. You guys don't know, and you guys will never know. Alrighty.
Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. Another thing before I go, I won't be able to go to YCS Pasadena, which is a shame. But to those that go out there, good luck. I wish every one of you guys good luck, and yeah. See you guys soon, and take care, man.